Start over from the top.
Yep.
Who is Jay Ali?
I'm a producer, songwriter, and an artist originally out of Hammond, Indiana. Now living in LA, born in Chicago. So I've produced for a few artists: Chris Brown, Joyner Lucas, Tory Lanez, Chica, Kehlani, Eric Bellinger. List goes on. So yeah, it's a little bit about me, a little intro for those who don't know.
And like I stated earlier, it's gonna be hard to run into people that don't know you. You're like everywhere, man.
Man, trying to get it to that point where,
So, a little background, right, before we get in here. I was doing research on, cause you so happen we're fraternity brothers, same problems and everything. Shout out to NCP.
Yes, sir.
I did a piece like, yo, noops that you need to know. And when I was doing my research on the piece, one of the actually an alpha, his name was Rodney, Power 92 Hot Rod.
Yep, that's the homie.
Yeah, he hit me up and he was like, yo, you should you know Jay Ali, one of your fraternity brothers.
Yeah.
So I did my research on you, started doing it, and then I'm like, man, this dude dope. I got into it with him. Then another one of my younger fraternity brothers was like, yo, Jay Ali is the reason why I wanted to be a noob.
That's crazy.
He was like, when I was a shorty, he was like, man, he had all the women. He was like, the swag was just different. He was like, this dude was the reason why I wanted to be a noob.
Yeah, that's hard.
So it's crazy how this come full circle.
Yeah, always. Man.
I'm gonna shout out my boy Terry Roseland. He one of my neos.
Shout out to Terry. What up, Fi?
Yeah, so he was like, man, that's the reason why I want to be a noob. Is this guy.
That's hard. That's what I like. You gotta set the example. You know what I'm saying?
So let's talk about that whole being a member of Kappa Alpha Psi and your fraternity experience. Like, how did that impact your career?
Without the fraternity, I would have never done music. So it was them, the older brothers, my pro fights, just hearing me freestyle, just messing around, just off some beats, smoking a little bit. So it happened to me particularly different. It was during my signing process for my fraternity, as you know, we sign it and we good, you know what I mean? So it was during that lengthy paperwork process, and so they had discovered that I happened to be the one who, I guess, was the creative one from my line. Just to fast forward, from my line, it was 9 of us. My brother Gerard, he has a company, Black and Bold. It's just a coffee company, which is blowing up. Kelly Rowland support, like, so many artists and people have supported it, and so bro was on my line. We got a near billionaire on my line. We got a couple real estate agents. I did music, so everybody who I came in with, everybody achieved their goals and got to where they wanted to go, or is at least en route. So I never had brothers growing up. You know what I'm saying? I'm my only child. My parents just had me together, so I just always wanted to be a part of something bigger, and I was always popular. Like, after maybe like junior year in high school, from then on to like now, I just was always been able to hold my own and persuade people to do this, come this way. So being in a fraternity just taught me more humility. And I had my first ever group of people who was like, it was my power source. So it was the first time I had people like cheering me on to do something that I wasn't sure if I was good enough to take it seriously, because I'm in school to sport marketing and business, so I wanted to go a different path. I just like to freestyle, just on some, everybody do it. People watching this interview, everybody's done it. Freestyle, hear the beat, you know what I'm saying? So it was just something that was fun, but they took it as like, if you really freestyling, you're not writing this down, like, where are you coming up with this? You should get in the studio. They linked me with a DJ. And throughout school, like each semester, each summer, I just got better and better. I never went home. None of my years in school did I use any break to go home. I just stayed while everybody was at home, polishing up my skills in the studio while I was open, and just every time somebody heard me, I wanted to be better. And so the fraternity definitely put that battery in my back to just my first support network of them, like, yo, do this, you should do this. You know what I mean? So I never was gonna do it. It was never really something that was in my mind and my heart at the time. It took them to, and it was like a couple years they were like pressuring me to like keep going and stuff like that. So without them, I wouldn't have done it for sure.
Oh, that's crazy. Shout out to the Noops.
For real.
Was you like a DJ for the Noops when you was out there?
So Brian Sanders, my profile, was the official DJ. He was pretty popular in Indianapolis, so he put me on chopped and screwed music. And after I heard that, I was like hooked. Everything was chopped and screwed, and I'm like, yo, this is it. So when we threw parties, I would DJ maybe like the last 30 minutes, play all the songs that you need to find a shorty to go home with, play a little after set shit just to get you in the mood. So he called me DJ Trap Jodeci, just like it was like house party, so it wasn't like official events, but at the crib, I got on an aux cord or had my playlist on Serato, whatever the homies were using. So I had to take them homeless. I just knew what songs and when to play it, what time. I could just read the crowd and know who was vibing. If it was too turned, play something else. So, he gave me the name DJ Trap Jodeci, and that put the stamp on it in my mind of like, at least I know how to curate things. At least I know what people want. But not necessarily, I didn't think of myself as a musician back then. It was just, if you're in a fraternity throwing parties, you want the mood to be right. You don't gotta be a DJ to do that. You just gotta have a good taste. So I was kind of looking at it like that.
Okay, so you responsible for all the red light specials going right, huh?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
So
So he actually gave you the theme and the name for your Trap House Jodeci series.
He called me DJ Trap Jodeci. It wasn't like it was just a conversation in passing. He's like, I'm calling DJ Trap Jodeci. He never did it, but that conversation is stuck with me. I was like, yo, that name is so cool. And we called the frat house the Trap House. It was like 6 of us. We had a crazy downstairs, crazy upstairs. So everybody came. We were the only people with a big crib at the time. It's like 6-bedroom crib, like baby mansion type. So we called it the Trap House. So I just combined the two, Trap House Jodeci. So first it was a clothing line, then it was my DJ name, then it was a project, then it was my nickname. So it was just, I loved the name so much, and it had nothing to do with Jodeci, the group itself. Not their music. It had more to do with their style, how they come off, how they're perceived, that attitude. So I just wanted to take that with me everywhere. I never sampled Jodeci. I never, I didn't want it to be that easy. I wanted to just carve out my own. And, shout out to Mr. Dalvin. Shout out to Slim from 112, Genuine, Teddy Rod. I'll talk to all the OGs. And they like what I'm doing. So those type of cosigns for people who lived in that era and were on top in that era is like the only thing I needed to hear to let me know that I was on the right path, you know what I'm saying? Aside from the frat and the homies. It's like
they gave you them cosigns back then?
Over the last couple years, like Teddy Riley. Slim is recent. Genuine, a couple years ago, his daughter came to a concert of mine, so she put us in chat. We talked a few times. Not Devontae, but Mr. Dalvin from Jodeci. One of my homies had a hat on. He ran into him at the mall. He was like, yo, where you get the hat? And he thought, he was like, damn, like, bro, you might be in some trouble. Like, dude from Jodeci seen the hat and impressed me about it. But he was like, I want one. Like, link me with who did it. He sent in my Instagram, and then I followed Mr. Dalvin, and I reached out to him. I'm like, bro, you inspired me. And he was like, yo, pull up to the concert in Orange County. I wasn't able to make it because by the time I responded, the tickets were sold out. They did a concert with TLC that still sold out, like 2 hours type of shit. So we never were able to like meet each other, but we just like talked through Instagram and text a few times. And Melvin from Ready for the World, one of the coldest groups ever, a label hit me up to hit him up to clear a sample because they saw he followed me on Instagram. So I always tap in with people who I grew up listening to and just like let them know that I'm doing this full time because I looked up to them. And so it's always great to get that back and forth with them and have them like what I'm doing too. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different type of
what was the best advice that you've gotten from any of those guys?
Really just keep doing what I'm doing. Like consistently across the board. It's like if they come across me, it's not too much catches their ear that they respect from younger generations enough to warrant like I'm not like Drake or her. I'm not that tier artist, so it would be easy for them to hear that person like, oh yeah, they're dope. But to hear somebody who's not quite at that level as a household name, but still have the music resonate, and them telling me I'm on the right path is really, it's been across the board. I mean, it's pretty much consistently what they say. It's just like, stay on it. Don't let anybody let me deviate from where I'm going, because whatever I'm doing it right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's pretty much consistently been always it.
Okay. Now you mentioned Genuine. Do you ever get a lot of Genuine comparisons?
No, nah. But like I think he's in that Jodeci era, so like they always, people say I make like '90s type of music. So
he
like
definitely do.
You know what I'm saying? So he did a lot of that. So Static Major, Jodeci, Missy, all of those guys and women. I think I draw from all those people, just like a lot of artists do. Like, you know what I mean? Like Nelly, to me, was like the first time I heard it. Two artists like Nelly and Pretty Ricky. When I first heard them, I was like, oh, I want to do this. Like, Nelly was a tough dude, but he rapped about whatever the tough stuff. Then he rapped about girls for 5 songs and couldn't say shit about it. You know what I mean? So I just always liked that dynamic of just being you, being from the country or St. Louis where you from, and being from Florida, whatever those dudes are from, and just like having that attitude. It's just 80% of it is attitude. You know what I'm saying?
So, where did you get the whole swag makeup from? Because your swag, and it's like you took that quote unquote no homo, the whole little sex symbol thing. You took that to made it into an appealing swag. And coming from the Midwest, we don't dress like that. Yeah. So how did you put that together?
My pops, fly dude. Like, him at my age we looked same everything, haircut, hair, everything the same. So I looked like my dad looked when he was my age. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So like, pictures, some hand-me-down shit I got from my pops, just the overall style, like the nose ring, earring. Like, I always was able to do my own thing. My dad let me always dress how I want to since I couldn't remember. You know what I'm saying? So I always had my little style before the music, and I just always, whether people thought it was cool or not at the time, I was always a little ahead. Being from Indiana, they're late on some of the fashion stuff. Yeah. So by the time you wearing something that you seen in Chicago off it, Indiana gonna be on it for the next year and a half. Right. Even though they're so close, you know what I'm saying? So I was able to just take from Chicago and bring it to Indiana, and look, people thought it was different, but really it was just me. Just stay true to your style. That's anybody, you know what I'm saying? And I saw my dad do that a lot, and I always admired the pictures and like the haircuts and stuff like that. So I always wanted to emulate him. Still do. Okay.
So now we talking. So we didn't touched on you being from, the Midwest, from the crib. I count that all the cribs to me. Yeah. Then we got into your style. How do we transition from being down there at was it IU, right?
IU, yep.
Being at IU to now in LA?
Just putting out a lot of content. When I was in college, I just put out a lot of music over the time, and it wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? But I let people grow with me. I never was like, I'm gonna drop the music when it's polished. I put it out when it wasn't mixed, when it sounded like shit. Because if I didn't, you wouldn't be able to be like, yo. It wouldn't have that dynamic to it of like, yo, he started like this when and now he's doing this. I think I always wanted people to see my growth, and I can take it, criticism on the chin. I can take that. You know what I mean? Like, I listen to people when they tell me I'm doing something, when they don't like this. I'm like, okay, let me see if it's validity to that, and if I can actually incorporate that and get more money off of just taking a random person advice. If they're criticizing it enough, if you don't know me, you talking about me, and you're not tagging me, but you're talking about me, like, I gotta listen to you more than the person that's tagging me, because I'm on your subconscious. So you probably giving me codes and shit to do that you just think is criticism. So I always took people's criticisms with, to heart, not in a bad way. So I let that fuel me into just publicly turning into something else. I started off on Twitter, I was just funny. Made jokes. I was that type of person, going viral and just saying stupid shit. I knew if I could get their attention and have their attention, then once I found something more serious to do, that if I was good at it enough, they would have to listen. So it took a lot of that, of just me rebranding myself publicly and not hiding like, oh, I'm back in 2 years later, and I was in here every day. If y'all seeing the growth, if y'all seeing the content change from what I'm saying. So it just built up a good network. I didn't have to be in LA to know I could go to LA and make something happen, because I knew enough people knew me in LA that if I came there and I made my own stamp and I didn't let nobody did anything for me, nobody took it was me coming out here with an internship just so I can have somewhere to live and some money, and then me just turning up, making clothes for artists, and them not knowing I did music, and them buying clothes, me playing them a song from an artist I was managing, and they're like, oh, this shit hard. I'm like, oh, that's me. It was all type of shit I was doing just to get people to take me serious. It was always a plan to come to LA. Like, even before music, I want to come out here. So I knew if I could make it here and make my stamp, and people who don't know I'm from Indiana think I'm from LA or Toronto or something. But I knew if I could get people to think I was from LA, not by saying I was, but just by turning up so much out here, and people like, oh, he must be from the city. And people who meet me here like, oh, bro, where you going to high school? I'm like, not here. I went to Indiana. So they're like, damn, you dress different, you talk different. We thought you were, you know. So that was just always the goal, infiltrate and just like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's how I got here. Was just rebranding and being vulnerable and putting content out. Because if they don't like it, I'd rather have you not like it than not know if you like it or hate it because it ain't out. I can't win or lose that way.
You said a lot of things in that soundbite that I want to touch on. First thing I want to touch on is making clothes. Who were you making clothes for?
See, I was making merch. Just the t-shirt brand was called Art and Drugs. It's like Art X Drugs. And then, so I shit you not, I posted the template of like a sketch of like a rough sample I made. Mm-hmm. The day that my life changed was Joe Freshgood DM'd me and said, yo, I guarantee you clothes money is going to be better than rap money. Hit me in a month and tell me if I'm lying or not. I hit him a month later. I said, bro, I made 6 racks. I said, I ain't never made 6 racks in anything. And so he was like, because he knew I was from Indiana. And he knew that I was on the streetwear wave that Chicago was on for like the last year and a half, but it ain't hit by college yet. So he was like, they going to look at you like you innovated it, even though you didn't. But that's what fashion is. It's just like putting it to the people who didn't see it the first time. He was like, if you could repurpose it and make it your own thing. And, you know, I had numbers on the back. It was like, you know, long sleeve. So it just looked cool, very simple black and white design. But I went crazy off of that shit. So Amber Rose, Tierra Thomas, few songwriters, few athletes. Yeah, just off of Instagram and Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like Tierra Thomas wore it to 106 in Park. Amber Rose wore it somewhere. Instagram models, I was just sending it sometimes for free, like, yo, take this, we don't got to just promote it, you know what I mean? So it was a lot of that, and people who gonna say no to free clothes. So that was the first way of getting my name out there. That's how I met K-Camp, that's how I met G-Rye, he's with Parties Camp. Like, all of those dudes saw me from World Star of like throwing parties and wearing the shirts, and so it just cross branding, it really cross promotion. That's really what it was. I had a passion for making clothes, but to me, it was like making a song. It's the same shit. I can make a shoe or I can make a birdhouse. It's like music. It's the same shit. Same process.
You just said you was on World Star. So what was you doing on World Star? Just your music videos or like?
Nah, like party recaps, or like if I performed a song, I blend it with like party footage and shit like that. Just content. Pay them like that little $1,500, or depending on how long you want the banner up, $500 for this spot, $300, whatever little offers they had back then.
What's crazy is you did just mention you was a business major, so you understand that you had the all money in concept, and then you put it into marketing. Why don't you think artists understand that the importance of paying for marketing?
Well, see, I paid for marketing in a different way. I did it through merch, which is like indirectly advertising. But I never bought ad space. I never paid for PR, which I'll probably be bigger if I did. So I fully don't understand it. I've just maybe become comfortable with exploring that. But it's no business that's successful that doesn't advertise. Like, you don't need to see a Rolls Royce commercial because it's a Rolls Royce. But you need to see a Honda Pilot commercial because it's a fucking Honda Pilot. Nothing wrong with it, but people need to know that, yo, this is cool too. You don't need to know Rolls Royce is cool. You need to see an interview. You don't need to hear a soundbite to know that you need a Rolls Royce if you ever get there. You know what I'm saying? So depending on what your thing is, you don't need to advertise you need to advertise by rappers talking about it. You need to advertise by movies having a scene of you crashing and whipping with Mark Wahlberg driving. That's different. That's an invert but blatant advertisement. Not so much like, here's my commercial, here's my spot in the paper, here's this. So marketing is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like all artists have to just find what they're comfortable with, because you never want to look like you're selling shit. How to sell it without looking like you selling it? Like, I need you to send me money for my lifestyle, for my rent, for my, like, you're saying that, but you gotta figure out a way to make it seem like, I'm not selling this, you need this, and I might be sold out, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You gotta present it to where it's comfortable with your brand and who you are as an artist or a person. And so for me, I just had to find where I was comfortable, what I was comfortable with. Yeah, it's different for everybody. Some people get a billboard and it'll work. Some person get a billboard, they're like, I don't care. It depends. It depends on who sees it. Everything don't mean it. You can walk past 30 billboards. You can't tell me 5 billboards that you walk outside and see. You can't name them. But it's some people who be like, no, it's a billboard of this show right here because it moved them. Some people, we see it so much, it doesn't move us. So you may have wasted 10 grand for what? For a motherfucker to drive past it for 2 years and not know it's there? So it's different for everybody, I would say. You just got to find out what your thing is. And you don't know till you do trial and error. You know what I'm saying?
So you just spoke on indirect marketing. What are some, by you being out here in Hollywood or LA, what are some good marketing schemes that you've seen for some of your peers?
Really just paying for shit. Paying for marketing. Paying for PR, people to put you on these publications, playlisting, user-generated playlists that have hundreds of thousands of followers. And I don't really know the ins and outs of that, but I know a lot of people do that, and it works. To where, you know what I'm saying, a song goes, or TikTok marketing, or you paying influencers on Instagram to listen to your song naturally in their story. Sometimes you have them tag you, so it looks like maybe it's more natural. If they don't tag you, they're like, oh, who is this? And they, you know what I'm saying, makes the person like, why is Kylie playing this? Shazam. Oh, she didn't even mention who they was, but that means she really tapped into the song. You know, so it plays on the psyche, and some people perceive it as, oh, that's an advertisement. Some people see it as, oh, no, that she lit, it's lit. I'm about to go listen to this person because Kylie played them. So depending on what the budget is and what you want to do, you know, I've seen people do all types of stuff. Sometimes they just hear somebody famous hears the music and they play it, and people might think you paid for that or they might not know. But you know, I've seen it look as organic as if the person just listened to it. But I know that person paid that person to listen to it, but nobody else on the outside knows. It's impossible to tell. You know what I'm saying? So depending on what your budget is, you can, you know, make it look as organic as possible. It can make it look like it's a kid yodeling in Walmart. I think that was just a chance to, I think somebody just caught this kid going off and there was a bunch of people around. It sounds like a great story. Then the kid signed a month later. You think they just talked to him in 30 days and figured it out? Come on now. It was one of the greatest marketing things I've ever seen. Kid found yodeling in Walmart. They found him. You go in Walmart yelling, you're gonna get kicked out. I don't care what you're doing. That's just part of their store policy. It's your loitering. You'll be ushered out. I don't care if you're a kid or if you're snapping or singing Elton John, Hell Yeah Jack, they don't care. But it looked so organic. But that's what your good budget will do for you. It'll make it look like it just happened. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably the biggest example of like it looked great.
That's actually a dope example. And you probably just gave a lot of up-and-coming artists some free game.
Yeah.
Being out here, what was a moment of yours where you got an organic look and you was like what's some of your top organic look moments?
I would say, man, Erykah Badu posted something on her. I never seen it, but apparently she posted a song of mine because for weeks I got a bunch of fans like from Badu. Like I could tell they were some of her the fan pics or whatever, and they were like, "Oh, new fan." So that little things like that. My P&D on Snapchat years ago had mentioned Trap House Jodeci just like casually, and somebody had sent it to me, and fans were like, "Oh shit." Subtle things like that, or like Joe Budden or somebody just talking about it on the podcast, or
Joe fucks with you. I listen to his podcast faithfully.
Yeah,
he fucks with you.
Shout out to Joe. So yeah, things like that have helped, like the Joe Budden and Rory and Mal, and they don't like everything I do. That's why it's dope, because people like, oh, they always talk about you. I'm like, no, they say they don't like some shit. I've heard it. Shit, I thought it was hit. They were like, it didn't do nothing for me. I need you to be honest with me, because those people are my friends, I don't really know them. I just respect them, met them a couple times, got love for them, for what they say, good and bad, because you know what I mean? It's how good relationships happen. You can't be, oh, yes, man, the whole time, or people like you and they like everything you do. Nah.
Are you going to do Joe Poo Party, the next one you do? I think on the episode.
If we ever out of this quarantine, yeah.
What be the talks with him? Like, I know y'all talk, like, what did he give, like, type of gems he give you?
I had snippets on my Instagram or my Twitter, and he was like, it was from like a couple years ago. He was like, drop this, and it was like 2018. The clip was, and it was maybe like this, maybe a year ago or something. So I'm like, what? This shit is like 2 years old. And he was like, you need to finish it and drop it, and I dropped it, and it did well. It was a song called T-Shirt. So just like little things, or him saying he didn't fuck with something or it didn't move him, and I'm like, all right, I got you.
Okay.
You know.
All right. So I want to know, cause as I know, I watch a lot of your interviews, and it seems like you get a lot of those things that be repetitive. Like they ask you kind of like the
Hell
same
yeah.
same shit. What is the question that you hate getting asked the most?
I don't honestly. I'm usually just honored that people want to talk and have a conversation. That I'm not really annoyed. It can get repetitive, but they don't know me, or they probably don't know that their fans know this or don't know this. So nothing really bothers me. Where I'm from, my upbringing, anything that is like not about the present music or like about what got the music to the spot it's at. It's like miscellaneous facts, like birthday and food and stupid stuff. The fans probably want to know, but I'm like, all right. But it's whatever. Yeah.
I get that. The reason why I asked that though, because you are actually you're a performer and you're an artist, but you also a songwriter as well.
Yeah.
And I noticed you get asked a lot about, people you did songs for. I know you wrote was the Emerald. That is yours, right?
Emerald.
Or they use your vocals, right?
Emerald and Burgundy. So yeah, I did the one with the part with Juicy J and Juvenile in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, like the first half of the song.
Yeah. So you wrote it, right?
I just wrote the hook with this girl named Feli Ferraro. She's amazing.
Okay.
So me and her did that.
All right. So did you guys do that all in the studio together, or?
No, that was the only time I ever met Chris Brown. We went to his house in November last year and we did the record. He pulled up the beat, said he wanted the concept to be about colors because his album was about colors of some sort, and so he wanted to have a song with a color title. So he said green, and we're like, all right. And green is like envious, emerald, same color. So we just played off the concept he gave us, and we just did it there.
Okay. So what was it like with being around Chris?
That was tight. You know what I'm saying? Dude got a crazy motive. Like he doing a million things at once. Like very multitask oriented. I like that because I'm the same way. So yeah, dude was cool, super down to earth. Was happy when we did the song. Had people coming in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Made it feel very easy. Wasn't no pressure. He wasn't in there the whole time while we made the song. He was like out in the living room and shit. So it wasn't like he was, all right, what's this sounding like? He let us do our thing for a couple hours and he just came back in. Mm-hmm. So I liked it.
Do y'all still keep a relationship after that?
I've been on the last 3 Chris Brown albums. I'm on the next one. So like we don't talk. I talk to his engineer. Like that's who my relationship is with.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm glad you just said that. So coming from the Midwest, a lot of people from the Midwest don't know what it's like out here in Hollywood, or they use, like how you say, marketing. They see what's on social media and they think that this person, you did a song with Chris Brown, that's like probably got to be your best friend. Yeah. Like, what do you think are coming from our center of the country, what are some things that you think artists and people need to know about this industry out here?
I feel like it's nothing people haven't heard. Like it's a different animal. Like, you know what it is. Like it's hard to make it. There's just no other way to. It's not about where you from or what you did. It's about what added value do you have. If you don't have any value, you won't get used up for whatever value you perceive to have. You just gotta be strong-willed, have a support system, or just have like good parents or somebody you can hit up when shit not going right. But I mean, I knew what I was getting. I knew what I was getting to when I went to college. I knew what I was getting to when I pledged. I knew what I was getting to when I did anything in life. I knew it wasn't all candy-coated raindrops and shit like that. Like I don't think like that. I think I'm always gonna have to work harder than the next person. When I hoop, I'm the shortest, I'm the skinniest. All throughout school, like karate, for whatever I did, I was always, well, if you wanna make the 10, you gotta beat out this dude who doing it regular speed, but you gotta turn it. So I always had that mentality of like, I gotta be better than the next dude. People who sing better than me, do this better than me. But I'm like, all right, can you put it together better than me? Can the finished product be better? I doubt it. So, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have confidence. Because people can tell when you're not sure who you are, and then you fool. That's anywhere though. It's at the crib, New York, Baltimore, you go anywhere where it's some movement, you look like food to niggas who know you food. If you're not all the way put together, and it's male, female, they can tell when they can try you. So no different here. I don't think I've been tried like maybe other people have different stories, but I had, artists try certain things, A&R, but not like, I can only pinpoint a couple things that rubbed me the wrong way, and I got over it. Years passed, people who were involved, I worked with them again. This time they had to pay me through their label since they got signed since we last. So it all worked out. You know what I'm saying? Anybody I had beef with, if I see you, we to the point where it's laughs. You ain't my homie, but it ain't no static. I done been in real shit out here that I had to make phone calls home to the crib like, yo, I need niggas to drive out. You know what I'm saying? Drop a pin or shit getting spooky. But that's, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be prepared for it. You gotta just know what you're getting into, who you kicking it with, what neighborhoods you in. But that's anywhere. So for me, it's watch any story about somebody going to LA. It's the same. It's like that, but not maybe as camera friendly. You know what I'm saying? It's pressures. But I think that's anywhere though.
I noticed on your Instagram you had got a while back that you had started your media company, like your LLC, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I just noticed how you just said you had an issue with somebody previous. So was starting your company, was that like a lesson you learned from doing like somebody doing bad business out here?
It was just, I just knew I had to do it for legal purposes before somebody else did it. Somebody else could incorporate Trap House Joe to see if I didn't do it.
Right.
I made the Instagram page, Twitter. I took every domain I could possibly find with that name attached to it. We still waiting on the Trap House Joe to see website itself, but we got the Trap House. So it's like, I just wanted to make sure people knew that was mine and not to play with me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a direct reason for anything. I just always wanted to have it. I opened my bank account, my Trap House Joe to see music business account. So I just wanted to get everything synced up. Legal reasons, taxes, all that shit.
Okay. As a songwriter, was there any instance where when you wrote a song or something for somebody and then you had issues with that?
It's been not like that. I've been sampled before it was cleared, and we got it worked out later. But I never had anybody take something. I know people have those stories, but I probably wouldn't be here talking to you today if I had that story. You would have heard it went left. You would have heard I threw my life away. You know what I'm saying? If it happened to me when I was at that pivotal point to where if you did that, I'm going left. But I was in a bad situation, like mentally. You know what I'm saying? For a couple years here that I'm like, shit, I'm waiting on somebody to give me a reason to just be who people think I am because where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? But after I got out of that little funk, it was like, it's not too much you can say to move me. Because I know you're not going to say it in real life. You know you're not going to do it in real life. And that you got to be comfortable knowing that this shit is for play. It's like wrestling. You might hear motherfuckers say they're going to kill somebody in the song. Go to the club. Go to the party, kick it back with them and see what they doing. They on their phone. They not on that. The same dude he talking about might be over there, but he's not on that. So you gotta realize, like back at the crib, if somebody say that, you like, I'm on high alert. He's serious. Oh yeah, who at the party? You gotta move like that, because at the crib, if somebody say it, you like, all right, well, he probably on that. Mm-hmm. Here, ain't nobody on that. Unless they from here and they on some other shit. But if you some artist or some A&R, like, you gotta be comfortable in your skin and know, like, people can say whatever, whisper whatever. But as a man and as a person, if you can't give me that energy when I see you, I have no issue with you. I gotta let it go. Because you just nothing, you know. So just having that mentality, I wouldn't let anybody take anything from me. And if they do, I got lawyers, and I'm very non-confrontational. Because I have people to be confrontational for me now. I used to have to be confrontational because I didn't have anybody to be that instigator or stabilizer, if you will. So it's been a long time since I had a problem with business-wise.
Are you signed?
No.
So everything you do is freelance work?
Yeah. Technically.
All right. So as a performer, are you looking to get signed, or you still want to be independent?
I'm not looking for a girlfriend, but if a bad bitch come along and she got the criteria, then I'm getting wifed up. So same thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not looking.
Fuck with that ass.
But if it's looking for me and we meet, I'm with it.
No, fuck with that ass. You got a huge following in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
How did that come about?
I had a song called Tings I did in 2016, and they say that a lot in Toronto, so they thought I was from Toronto because I look into people think I'm Indian and Ethiopian and stuff like that, so people look like that in Toronto. A lot of my brothers and sisters, so they just assumed I was from Toronto. I always work with Toronto people, producers. My friends were from Toronto, so I always had that network anyway. So people just thought I was from Toronto when that video dropped. Store owners were playing the song in the store. It was crazy. I got booked. First place I ever got booked. I booked for $1,500, and I performed that song for 30 minutes. That one beat. Yep. Just kept redoing it. And they knew the words, and the song dropped the week before it. So that shit was crazy. So Toronto's like my second home. Mm-hmm.
So you played one song for 30 minutes?
That's the only songs I really had that was turned up. Everything else was R&B that they wasn't hip to yet. So this song was like a turned up. I'm gonna put up at the spot. I got the teens. It was like a little anthem type of track, like something you can mosh pit to. So they got introduced to me as a rapper first. Mm-hmm. You know, that allowed me to show them everything else I could do. But that was the only turned up song I had, and at the time I wasn't comfortable like singing live and shit like that. So I just did the rap stuff. Yeah.
That's dope. You sing a song 5 times, got $1,500 for it.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad at all. Damn. So you guys. And you in Toronto, they going crazy in Toronto.
Yeah.
So are they hip to your new stuff?
Yeah, people think I'm from Toronto, like still. It's just like fans in Toronto assume I'm from Toronto just because I'm working with or following all your favorite Toronto artists or Canadian artists, or we just happen to be friends. So I've always been comfortable in Toronto. I dated a girl from there, so I just always loved it. So people just assume I'm from there, and I feel like I'm from there too. Like kindred spirit. I feel like that's where my soul was meant to be. Cause I'm walking around with people who look like me, who look like my cousin or something, my brothers. It was just dope to see like the culture there. It's like a lot of culture, and I was like, damn. I feel like these people know who they are, or like, you know. So yeah, it just they open their hearts to me, and you know, vice versa.
That's love. Did you? I know you say you messed with Party earlier. Like y'all have a relationship, or just camp wise?
No. So we worked a couple years ago, and it never dropped. But my homie Business Boy, who produces for me sometimes, produces a lot for Party. So we've used similar producers, and so we hooped together one time, a bunch of us. So it's not like a consistent relationship, but it's just, you know, respect through the homies. His engineer. I used to be my roommate when I first got here. He's the only person who ever engineered bro before. Still to this day, he did work, all that stuff. So I would just come up in conversation because I'm an artist or whatever. And so yeah, just mutual respect. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Yeah. Is it ever? Because I'm not familiar with the songwriting game at all. Is it ever like competition between songwriters like it is with artists?
Well, yeah, I'm sure everybody want to have a number one, but I'm not in the rat race. Okay. Songwriting is cool. That's not what God put me on this earth to necessarily focus my time for. I do it when the mood strikes me, but for the most part, I'm more on the production aspect, like the actual beat. I make samples, so like I get credited as a writer, but I'm not necessarily writing the song. They're just rewriting an old beat of mine. So I get technically as a writer, but I don't really consider myself a writer. For certain songs, like, oh, you wrote this for Chris Brown? I'm like, yeah. But then sometimes, like, well, he sampled me, so yeah, I'm a writer, but I didn't write anything but my sample part that's in it. So that rat race is different. Running it, I've been in it. I don't like it. I don't like the monotony and instability, how unstable it is. So I incorporated other things in my repertoire so I wouldn't have to just depend on songwriting.
Well, you a whole brand. I'm from talking to you. You got fashion down pat, production, songwriting, and you're a hell of a performer.
Man,
like,
appreciate you, bro.
Great music, and you stay working. I feel like you done dropped at least 3 projects in the last 9 months.
Yeah, probably. We dropped Trap House Jodeci 2 in December, then the deluxe version last month, and then we dropped new EP in August coming up. Yeah, probably dropped at least 40 songs this year.
Yeah, you've been dropping. I've been too. Yeah, you've been dropping them. So you've been working. You've definitely been working. So, I got a few questions on here I wanted to get into. You got the Morocco flag in your bio.
Yeah.
That's like, are you Moorish? You the Moorish man?
Yeah.
You like to speak on that?
I just tell people, do your own research. I'm Moorish American, so if you don't know what that is, you can go look it up. But yeah, just to let people know that I know who I am. Other than that, I don't really speak on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess we can have a conversation off camera about that. Yeah, because I peeped that and I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
He tapped in. All right. The state of R&B.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think it is, and what do you project it to be in the next 3 years?
I think it's good. I don't listen to much that's out, but I know who the artists are. Whether it's, I gotta know who's out, so I know who to send beats to. I gotta know who popping. I know who on the charts, who up and coming. I know everything about everybody. I don't need to hear your music. If I need to hear your music, it's a problem.
Explain.
If your shit is that hard and your label's behind you or whoever's and your names and faces everywhere, if I haven't heard a song, I'm more impressed. Because 9 times out of 10, if I listen to it, I'm like, oh, that's him? Oh, So now I'm looking like, oh, they wasn't even pushing your face. Like, that means you really know what's going on. I mean, you probably know how to do this shit in your sleep. And you're not worried. You probably worry about the long grind. Not the, I'm pretty, or I'm like handsome. Now's the time. This is how I look. This is what I'm, you know what I mean? If I'm hearing about you and I'm seeing how you look and I'm seeing you perform, like, yo, how do they, and I can't name any of your songs, that means A, I heard the song and I didn't put your name to the face, or 2, the people are basically telling me this is gonna be who the world wants for the next 2 or 3 years because we got their image out. So we're not gonna invest all of this eye time on somebody who trash music. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't tell you a Billie Eilish song, but I can tell you who she is, how she dressed, where she performed last, how many units she sold. But then when I do hear a song, I'm like, that's her? That shit hard. But I didn't even know where I heard it. I could have been in a store and I'm like, damn, okay, this is shit cool. And I didn't know it was you, So to me, those are the type of artists, and maybe that's just me because I don't need to hear your shit to know if I need to send you a beat to work with you. I can just learn off of who's talking about you. If I know this person doesn't condone bullshit and they talking about you, I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. I don't need to hear no. I got people I produce for, I never listen to the song a day in my life. I listen to my beat and I fuck with you enough to know you gonna kill it. I don't need to hear it. I need to know that I rock with you if I can build enough there. Now, if I don't know you, I'm sending stuff and I'll never meet you and you live over here and I can't, then cool. I don't need to know much about you. But if it's an in-person thing, I'd rather just know that you are solid because you good after that. If I know you solid, I don't need to hear the music. As long as you good, you got a budget. And if you don't got a budget and I believe in you enough just because I fuck with you, then that's cool with me. So yeah, I know what everybody is, but I don't really listen to the music because I don't let people send me music. And I tell them like, yo, I'm not gonna cap and say I'm gonna listen to this. Cause I'm in a music process right now of making my own stuff. So I honestly don't want to hear your shit. Because I don't want to.
That's valid.
I don't want to catch a melody and think this me, and it's really because I heard your snippet on SoundCloud. You sent me, now I'm using your melody, not knowing it's you, and then now you mad when the song blow up, and I'm a thief, and I forgot I stole from you because I heard your shit in past. I don't want that. I don't take no chances. So I just don't listen to it. But I'm just always well versed on who's doing what, who's aligned with who's with this label, who's this partnership, and that's enough for me.
I like how you broke that down, and I honestly, I can tell that you've studied this game and studied marketing and branding to a T. Cause just how you even just broke that down, like like people don't even think like that. Yeah. So that was just dope. And so when you speak of people you give out beats to and you produce for, what has been some of your favorite songs and should you tell me who the songs was? I'm gonna know who the artist is. So I'm guessing who's the favorite people you like to send beats to?
I would say my favorite songs that came out is the Joyner Lucas and Chris Brown Stranger Things one.
Okay.
That went gold, and I made the beat with my homie, and that was like my first paid placement. Like, so that one just holds more rank than anything, just cause like that's my shit. It was only us two on the song, Chris Brown and Jordan, and me and bro Jordan Manswell who produced it. So it was like the first time I'm like, damn, it's not a million niggas on this song. You know what I'm saying? This is my shit. So that one for sure. Chica, she's with Warner Brothers. She has a song called Industry Games. Produced that one. I love it. Means a lot to me because I believed in her a lot. And then probably Lil Key and Roddy Ricch Dragon. I'm the sample in that. Just because nobody knew I was involved in that song. The business was everything was good. So yeah, I just think that's such a random song to be a part of, and it's dope that Key and Roddy put it on the album. Yeah, so that one just because it comes out of left field for most people who think I just do R&B and shit. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So as an R&B guy, when you doing all this work, which is more important for you, bro? The bag or getting your credit?
The bag. Depends on who it is. If it was Beyonce, and she said, "Look, I'm gonna either give you the credit and no bag, or the bag and you can't tell nobody you worked on this," I'm like, "Give me the credit. I'll make 2 M's off the credit. I'll make that one Beyonce song, bring me 30 Zayn songs, 2 Usher songs, a Weeknd song, a Rihanna song, a Drake song. Then I'm gonna go to the Latin side, Maluma, get one on him, just off of the credit from Beyonce." So that's how I look. Depending on who you are. If you big enough that you want to be like, "Oh, I don't want nobody to know," but here, or like tell the world, but I ain't gonna pay you. Depending on who you are, I would take the latter. So it's different. But if you're not that, Beyonce or something like that, I need that bag, my boy.
Gotta get your coins, man.
Yeah, facts.
Alright. We closing out. I wanted to get your take on this because I heard in the interview you say you were single, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so being from the Midwest and seeing what we got to offer and being out here in LA, who got the best women?
That's a good question. See, I can't really say LA because it's cheating. A lot of girls not from LA. They live here for work or what they do. So it's like, yeah, it's LA, but she from Brooklyn or she from Vegas, Arizona, Montana. You know what I'm saying? They be from everywhere. So I would say probably just LA technically, but from personal experience, Midwest. And a lot of girls come from Midwest come out here. So it's like, it's a bunch of bad. You're like, "Oh, she bad. She from Chicago. Or she from Crib." So it's like both, but probably LA for the naked eye.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Have you ever had any run-ins with the police or like you know the police brutality stuff going on right now?
Yup, plenty of times.
Plenty of times.
Mm-hmm.
You don't look like you a confrontation to do. How did you get this many run-ins with the police?
Stupid shit, driving drunk, like an unprovoked time. I would say maybe like half of those. Out of the 6, 3 was unwarranted.
Okay.
Yeah. The other 3 was like me speeding, doing some smoking, doing stupid shit.
How did the police handle the situation, the unwarranted time?
It was in LA. I actually was waiting on my homegirl. She had parked in this temporary 5-minute zone to get some food. I'm in the car just waiting. It's night. I got my headphones on. The cops knocking on the window. They got the flashlight, so I can't really see who it is. So I'm like halfway listening to my music, like, "Yo, what?" You know what I'm saying? Not even realizing it's the cops. When I realized it was a cop, I just brought out the window, like, "What's up?" They're like, "You gotta move the car." I was like, "Oh, she just left the hazards on. She got the keys. She inside. Blah blah. I'll call her for you." Like, "Nah, step out the car." I'm like, "Nah, I'm good, bro." So literally, the window was down. They reached in, opened the door, and pulled me out. And it's people outside. It's people with cell phones. That's the only thing that saved me was them telling me they're gonna put me in the car. But I'm like, what did I do? And at this point, I'm using some derogatory language. I'm like, well, you're gonna take me to jail. I'm gonna make sure that it's worth it. And I'm going to jail for being calm. Let me turn up. So I'm talking crazy, telling him what I'm gonna do to him. I'm like, yo, bro, like I was saying some disrespectful stuff to him just to I want him to hit me. I'm like, I want you to do something on this camera. I'm hitting a lick on you, my boy. I'm suing the whole city. It's over. I'm thinking that, like, I'll take an ass. I can survive. They ain't gonna kill me in front of these people, but they'll hit me or throw me around or something. One of the officers was Asian. He telling me, like, in my ear, like, just relax, just calm, we'll take him off. You gotta I'm like, nah, I'm not. You say what you saying out loud. You telling me to calm down, let him get his ego off, because you wanna cuff me. You know what I'm saying? So the Asian dude feeling bad, you could tell, but the white cop is like, he was like, yo, the more you cuss, like, we gotta, you giving him reason, like, I wanna do this, you wanna do that. And he telling me in my ear while I'm cuffed by the tree, like, look, like, just breathe, like, take, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, nigga, fuck you too. I'm like, bro, you ain't on my side. You was on my side, we got these cuffs. So eventually, enough white people pull out cell phones and the cops take my shit off, and literally they just drive off. This happened for 15 minutes, downtown type shit. Yup, for no real reason.
Fucking LAPD.
Yeah, fuck 12.
I'm gonna leave this question because we locked in now. We fraternity brothers.
Yes, sir.
We blooded. So, I always ask everybody. My first time talking to them, 5 years, what do they see themselves? Shit, you already in a good position. So 5 years, we see Ali.
I want to be retired. I'm gonna be a buck with you. I want to be retired in 5 years. I want to have done everything I needed to do as an artist. If I don't have the next big thing by 5 years, then y'all can just count me out. I should already have who gonna be popping for the next 20 years under my belt, under my wing by then. If not, I don't really know. I ain't doing my job. But by then, I know I would have had the right producer, found the right person that changed the world, and give me an opportunity to make sure that shit happens the right way. Because I feel like I don't want to do the rat race forever. I want to be able to, sit back and enjoy being a legend and enjoy the fruits of the labor, and not have to do it and wait till I'm old and tired and I'm like, all right, I'm retired. Like, I say retire me from, like, actively being an artist, and I still might put an album out every now and then, but I want it to be to the point where I did so much that I should have had the next female superstar. I hate that word. The next woman superstar, the next male superstar, the next crazy poet, the stand-up comedian. I should have had somebody who's going to make me a billionaire by then, because I should have done enough in 5 years from now to warrant somebody saying, like, yo, I trust in you to take my shit to the next level. I want to be a manager, A&R, exec. I just want to get in these offices and change the culture and build my own shit after I learn how this shit works on the inside. So yeah, I want to be able to transition into my exec role in like 5 years or less. Honestly, sooner. Next 3, honestly, but by 5, I should be set up. My retirement fund should be good. That's where I'm at.
Definitely wasn't expecting that one.